So please welcome to the stage Jim, Greg, and B.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Hey,
Welcome,
I'm
Jim.
so happy you're here.
Yeah, good to
It's
see you.
amazing.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, exactly.
We're excited that you're here.
It's
And
nice to be in San Diego. It snowed last week in Colorado.
well, you guys moved the office from California, you know.
Okay. I thought this was friendly territory.
Well, as I said, you're one of my best friends. We spend at least an hour together almost, I think it's usually around noon, but sometimes I catch you at a different time of day. But it is just crazy to think that you come with a face and a body. I've just had that voice with me for a very long time, and you really make an impact, Jim. Thank you
That's
for
very
being here.
sweet. Thank you.
It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
I was telling B earlier, I'll be at a Starbucks to order a coffee, and somebody go, I know you. I know your voice. And I'll go, oh, you wouldn't know me. Minute will pass by. They'll go, you're the guy on the radio. Focus on the family.
Face for radio.
Yeah. I'm just hoping I didn't pick my nose or something.
Or
Come on, you guys.
or be rude to the barista.
No, never be rude. I learned that lesson early at Focus. I was on a training run in 1989, and we were in Las Vegas, and the guy that was training me at Focus, we get to the Hertz rental counter, and they didn't keep the reservation. Remember that Seinfeld? Yeah, so he didn't have the reservation, and he's going, man, I can't believe you don't have my car, and what kind of service does Hertz provide? And the person looks up, goes, oh, you work for Focus on the Family. I love Dr. Dobson. And this guy goes, oh, yeah, oh, thank you, yes. Are you a supporter?
Not
That was
anymore.
the best training I could get. Treat everybody friendly.
I was a major donor, but not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
That is-
Anyway, yeah.
So for those people who might have been living in another country for a while, your bio, real quick: abandoned by an alcoholic father at age 5, lost your mom to cancer at age 9. Your grieving stepfather emptied the family home and left you, the youngest of 5 kids and your siblings, to fend for yourself. Spent time in foster care, and now you are president of Focus on the Family for 19 years, $125 million operation, 6 million listeners on 1,000 radio stations, program of the year. Wow. How did that happen?
Just the Lord. Believe me, the night before the investiture service. You like that one? Anyway, Dr. Dobson said to me, we think you're the guy to take it, the board and I. And I'm like, no. My wife, Jean, and I prayed for the poor guy coming behind Dr. Dobson for a year. And we would kneel down on the bedside. This is what you all do, pillow prayers.
Yeah.
You lay down, honey, anything we got to pray about? Okay, right. This one we got down next to the bed and said, dear Lord, we pray for that poor person coming behind Dr. Dobson. You think God has a sense of humor?
Oh, yeah.
And it's a true story. If Jean were here, she said, yeah, every night. And I think for me, it was like Richard was saying. Isn't Richard great, by the way?
Amazing.
He's such a good
Amazing.
teacher. And for me, it was more the lack of confidence, given my background as an orphan kid, basically. I remember thinking, no, I can't do this job. I'm not a perfect guy. I am coming from brokenness. I'm wrestling with that whole thought that night and laying in bed. Jean was sound asleep. I didn't sleep at all that night. Yeah. But I'm sitting there, and just like Richard was talking about, the Lord just said, oh, it's not about you. I'm like, what? It's not about you. I own it all. I own what's good and what Dr. Dobson had, great family, etc. And I own what's broken.
Wow.
Just trust in me. Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. And I don't want to rush over any of that. Is there more you can take us along in that journey?
Oh, gee. Yeah, alcoholic father. The one thing, when I speak to an audience, we talk about my testimony. I talk about my dad, in his small way, was able to convey that he loved me. My older brother, who's 10 years older than me, he used to have fist fights with my dad because my dad would threaten my mom. He never actually hit her, but he would say he would. And so my brother would get into a fist fight with my dad. I only got love from my father. And you talk about the difference. My brother today still suffers from those consequences.
Wow.
Of feeling inadequate, feeling unable, feeling just lacking the confidence. But for me, just my dad running his hands through my hair saying, you're my special little boy. That was about all he could muster between being drunk and being sober. But that was enough. That gave me enough confidence. It was really interesting. And then my stepdad was horrible, Hank. I nicknamed him Hank the Tank. This guy, he was a former military drill sergeant and would do white glove tests in our room on Saturday mornings and made me hang my jacket up hundreds of times. You'd go to my closet today, it's all organized. Jean's side, oh my gosh. My wife, give me 10 minutes, I'll take care of that. Yeah. But yeah, I've learned to live in messiness.
Yeah.
But that was really hard. Hank was only with us like a year and a half. The day of the funeral, we got back to the house. He had sold all of our furniture, and he came out with his bags packed and said, I can't take the pressure. I'm 9 years old. He goes, I can't take the pressure. I'm leaving. And what do I get to do? I can't take the pressure either. And he said, well, you're going into foster care. So then that was the most hellacious part of the whole testimony for me, living with this family. And God, again, has an incredible sense of humor. The real family. That was their last name. The real.
Wow. That's great.
And yeah, they were the most unreal family. They had 4 sons, Dave, 18, and we would get in pillow fights, and he had some kind of neurological issue where he would begin to go into convulsions, and
Oh, wow.
and if you hit him in the head with a pillow. I don't know why he kept saying yes to the pillow fights, but that was Dave. Paul, my brother's friend, whom they knew each other in high school. I think at the end of high school, he had already had 3 girls that were pregnant.
Wow.
Gary, the 13-year-old, was one of the first people to die of AIDS. He became a homosexual activist and was hitting on me as a 9-year-old boy. Thank the Lord, nothing ever happened. But that threat was always there. And then Marky, the 8-year-old, Marky is now a state trooper in Utah. He used to steal things from me.
So basically, you had the perfect family.
Perfect family. And Marky, I remember I had 4 headless G.I. Joes. They're pretty easy inventory for me to count. And he put them in his drawer, and I went to his mom and I said, Mrs. Reel, Marky's stolen my G.I. Joes. That is exactly how I said it, because my mom did teach me how to communicate. And Mrs. Reel goes, not Marky, Jimmy, you're just not fitting into our family. And I remember going, I think that's a good thing. Have you looked at your family?
Because you're not the real family.
Yeah, the real family. So I would just say that, again, the Lord's sense of humor. What's so awesome in all of that, though, is just the Lord's ability to put something in our hearts to say, you can take the next step, you can go forward, it'll be okay. And for a God-given reason, I never had resentment of my dad or my circumstances. I always thought there had to be somebody worse off than me out there in the world. Some other kid that's got it worse. And I think that's a God-given thing about grace. It just, if you can imagine that. In fact, I interviewed a guy who's a psychologist who is an expert in catastrophic human events, school shootings, hurricanes, etc. And he said, the number one characteristic for a human being to survive a catastrophic event is what? Of course, I said, resilience. He said, no, it's not resilience. It's humility.
Wow.
Doesn't that shock you a little bit? But he said humility allows you to think there's somebody worse off than you in that circumstance. And he said that's the number one characteristic. Isn't that interesting that the Lord himself would say, be humble for I am humble. We think of it as a sweet statement. It's a statement of survival. Be humble for I am humble is an instruction to us to be able to get through this life with all of its valleys. So, yeah.
So what did you do from those real family years and the abandonment and the alcoholism to become a disciple of Jesus over time?
Well, thank the Lord for FCA. Anybody a disciple of FCA,
Yes. Fellowship
of Christian Athletes? Yeah. So, the Lord whispering in my ear continues. So I'm playing football, I'm playing quarterback. I had a great coach, Paul Morrow, who graduated Long Beach State. And he came in our sophomore year, and he really was the first guy that called me out to be a man. At practice, he'd grab my face mask and go, you must finish these sprints first if you're going to lead the team as a quarterback.
Yeah.
My neck was killing me. This is back when they could treat you like that. I mean, he was jerking my head all around. And I just remember, then he'd say, come over to the house Thursday night. Joyce and I want to have you over, have tacos. Okay. He just took an interest in me, and he was awesome. And he scholarshiped me to go to Point Loma, and I think it was the quarterback for the Chargers. He gets up there, and he goes, has your father let you down? Has your stepdad let you down? Has your foster father let you down? I go, oh my gosh, this guy's got my dossier. I'll introduce you to someone who will never let you down. Who? Jesus. I mean, he was like talking to me. There was like 70 guys in the room, but that's when I gave my life to the Lord. And it was the timing was God timing, because I was living with my brother who had married this girl, his second marriage. And I had just learned about Potiphar's wife in a Bible study on Wednesday night. Friday night, she came into my bedroom naked.
Oh, wow.
Am I telling too much?
Come on.
Are we recording this?
So I pulled this blanket up to my neck, and I'm looking at the ceiling. I mean, literally, Wednesday night, I'm hearing about Potiphar's wife and Joseph. I've got this blanket up to my neck. She's trying to seduce me. I'm going, you're my brother's wife. And then she turned on me and left and cursed at me, and my brother came in the door. And I thought, just how the Lord takes care of these things, right? Sorry, this ear thing is going everywhere. But just how the Lord takes care of these things, to give me that word on Wednesday night and then let me go through it on Friday night. And nothing happened. Nothing happened other than their marriage fell apart.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Surprise.
But I think from that perspective, the Lord and His Word just became so alive for me. So alive, you guys. We do not serve a dead God. He is alive and well and speaks to your heart. You just have to slow down to listen. You have to tune your heart in to listen. I remember I was playing Big Bear, a football game. We were out at Yucca Valley. So I'm playing quarterback. We're throwing the ball a lot. I got scholarship offers from TCU and UNLV. And so my brother, who played at Nevada Arena, he played defensive end. He was 6'6", 300 pounds. My brother.
Wow.
The one that used to get into the fights with my dad. So anyway, before this game, my brother had said to me, you're getting a big head. I said, well, I'm a quarterback. I have to have an ego. He said, not as a Christian. That doesn't work that way. He had also accepted Christ. So I knelt down at Big Bear High School, visitor locker room, and prayed, Lord, if you don't want me to play college football, break a bone today, but don't let it hurt. That is the honest truth. Third quarter of this game, we had two guys that were the sons of a 29 Palms Marine dude. They were the first guys I ever seen with tatted sleeves. They were bad. Tailback, fullback. And one of them got hit at the bottom of the pile. He jumps up, clobbers the guy. He gets ejected from the game. They bring Parrish Robbins. I don't know where Parrish is today, but somewhere. Parrish Robbins comes in. He's a sophomore. We call a drop back pass. He goes, what do I do? His eyes were like this. I said, well, move to the right and hit somebody inside out as a fullback. He goes, okay. We had it on game film. I go back. He steps up and then moves out of this linebacker's way.
Oh.
Doesn't chip block him at all. I throw the out on the left side, and this guy hits me. We fly through the air. We land on the ground. I get in the huddle. I reach under my shoulder pads, and my collarbone snapped in two. I'm going, you guys, God has answered my prayer. So they thought I had a concussion. Be careful what you pray. I'm sure the Lord was going, hey, Michael, get this prayer that's just come in. Let's do it.
So it's pretty clear you can make things happen, and you had to make things happen from a young age. My mom died when I was 15 years old, and I kind of make stuff happen. I'm very good at that. You're very good at that. But how do you balance God's agenda and hearing His voice and doing what He wants with your ability to just make things happen?
Well, that's a great question. I think one of the key things is knowing the Word well enough so it's in your heart, you're hearing it, even when you're not reading it. I think if you can get that discipline to know the Word that well, I started that with my boys, reading Proverbs every day to them. since they were very little. They now tell me that was one of the favorite things that I did with them, which is amazing, actually. They're 23 and 21 now. But I think you have to have an ear for what is God and then an ear for what is your flesh. And you got to develop those two things. And in leadership particularly, man, the flesh can get out of control. Even in Christian leadership, maybe especially in Christian leadership. When I took over, I inherited a private garage with a private elevator that went to my private bathroom. Wow! And you could park 4 cars in this garage, but I only had 1 car. And I remember Hortensia, the cleaning lady, would come in on a snowy Colorado morning at 6 a.m. and walk 100 yards from the, I'd see her out my window. Some days I got there that early, and I'd be seeing her trudging through the snow. So I go down and, hey, Hortensia, do you want a garage door opener? I got 3 more. You can park in the garage. Really? And I say that only to say that you got to find ways to keep your feet on the ground, in terms of, wouldn't that be something the Lord would do?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And finding ways to shake your flesh that's always warring with the Spirit in you, to have the ego. Somebody said, I think it was Adrian Rogers said, when ego grows, humility shrinks. Wow.
Yeah.
And in leadership, business leader, ministry leader, for Christians, it's a profound challenge for us. When you say something like, get it done because I want it done that way. I have said that, believe it or not, because I just got to the end of my patience.
Right.
And you have to stop and say, you know what? I'm sorry I said it that way. Here's the reason I would like to get that done. It's just so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think checking your own heart and making sure you're in tune with the Lord as best as possible.
Yeah.
So you not only have to do that for yourself, because you told us you have to be able to slow down enough to hear God, and yet you're running this huge organization. But how do you pass that on to the rest of your team as well? Because it's really important that they're hearing from God.
I think, no, that's really good. I have a mentor, Steve Menifee. Some of you might know Steve. He's been my mentor for 25 years. He hits me between the eyes every month when we talk on the phone. Every month. So this conversation will go something like this. Jim, what do you think your number one job as the president of Focus on the Family is? Well, to do something good for the Lord, to save marriages, to save a baby's life, those are all good things, Jim. But I think your main role is to be kind of the priest to the staff and to make sure spiritually your staff is as healthy as it can be. Never thought of that. I mean, I do pay them. Isn't that enough?
Christmas party. Give him a Christmas party.
Christmas party, they get a card from me. It's terrible, but isn't that so right? I think the same would apply to you, because I actually don't think, I came out of the business world, worked for an international paper. I don't think there's a big difference between working in the ministry and working in the business world. It's all ministry. It is.
Amen.
Totally. And, so I would give you the same challenge. What do you think your number one job is? Maximizing shareholder equity? Sure. That's a responsibility you have. How about leading your teams in spirit and helping them and hopefully drawing them closer to the Lord too, right? So, yeah.
You care a lot about unity. You talk about, you have the book, Refocus. Do you want to tell us a little bit about unity?
You guys are so good. You guys are cueing these things. I think certainly unity and spirit in the church is good, but I think here's the battle that I continue to fight within myself. So I'm not speaking of anybody else. Is the fruit of the Spirit hard for anybody else? Thank you. Love, joy, peace, goodness, kindness, mercy. And you know what's so interesting? The Lord wrote it down for us. If you want to know if you're rooted in me, this will be your behavior. Thanks, Father. And then, for a few verses ahead of that, that's, of course, Galatians 5:19, fruit of the other guy. That was nice of him to write that down too. Now, I often talk with the staff. I'm saying, now, I'm sure you guys aren't, I'm hoping you're not involved in orgies, because that's in there. The first three are like, lust issues. But then it's dissension, disunity, lying, prevaricating. Are those a little closer to home?
Yeah.
I just spun it a little bit. And I just think in the terms of helping the staff, one of the things I talk about is get everything up on the table. The devil works mischief in the darkness. And if you hide performance, you hide issues, you hide decisions, it's going to wreak more havoc. Just let's get it up and then create an environment where people feel safe to confess their sins.
Somebody out there might feel like you have the perfect relationship with your kids, but there's a little story and
Do you
a
want
little.
to hear that?
I want to hear it.
Okay.
And something
okay.
about a text.
Let me set this up. First, I'll show you the picture, like Richard of the family. So this is an old picture, or the newest picture with my boys and Jean. Go to the other one. I'll come back to that one. So that's the current picture. That's Trent on the right. 6'7" Trent. Now, Troy, his entire life, Troy has heard, "Hey, Trent. Hey, Troy. Trent, man, you are so big." That's all Troy's ever heard.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah, exactly. And so go to the younger picture. I'll show you that. Gene's awesome. Okay, you see the scientist at the top there, that's Trent. He's finishing pre-med. He wants to be a neurosurgeon.
Wow.
And he's on his way studying for the MCAT. Troy is Dennis the Menace, the guy in the front. So we do this science project, and I connect these cables to these test tubes with strips of metal. You submerge them, and it creates hydrogen gas. And then you light it, and it goes koosh, because hydrogen gas is rocket fuel. And it explodes, and your kids go, "That was awesome." But I left this on the counter the next night when Jean and I joined the Dobsons at a Jewish Christian dialogue dinner at the Broadmoor. And we get this phone call. The phone's zzz, zzz, and this is Troy's voicemail, the little guy in the front, about the evening. I think we could play it.
"Hi, Mommy. Trenton actually was dumb enough to get the battery I put my tongue on in a mini junk cable and actually plug it in the DVD player, and it caused smoke. But don't worry, it did not fire. This is Troy, and by the way, Trent did it, okay? Have I been specific enough?
There's more.
Don't go easy on it.
How would you like that guy for your little brother?
That's great.
Troy said to me one time, he goes, "You owe me royalty for that." I said, "I give it to you in room and board."
That is
It's been,
priceless.
the joy of my life to raise these two boys, and they're great kids. They're not perfect kids. You want a great book on parenting? It's by Dr. Ken Wilgus. It's called "Feeding the Mouth That Bites You."
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
It turned our relationship with our kids around,
That's
because
good.
what it convinces you to do is to relax control. Don't go for control or behavior. Go for the heart of development with your child. And it has turned our relationship around. They're very happy, joyful boys.
Okay, we have about 3 minutes left. You were on the phone with some pretty important people this morning, and just got a call from people we won't mention unless you want to mention, but your hand and life and organization is on the pulse of what's going on in our country, Supreme Court, to governors, to state legislation, to national legislation. What do leaders need to know that you know that might be important for them as they look to lead?
What Greg's alluding to, so I get a call on the walk over here, and it's Governor DeSantis. And he's like, "Okay, here's the issue in Florida. They have a bill coming up where the pro-abortion community wants to put on the Florida ballot for November kind of a Roe v. Wade ballot initiative, allowing abortion in Florida to go all the way to the birth canal, till the baby is ready to be born." And of course, 8-9 of these states have already passed something like this. So his plea was, "Is there anything you can do to help get the word out, help us to?" And he said, "I could have bailed on this, but it's a moral issue. It's not a policy issue." And so it's interesting to work with those people because I'm not as fervent in the policy arena. I'm trying to read what Jesus, he didn't spend a lot of time with Herod. He wouldn't even address Herod's questions, which I thought was interesting. But we do live in a democracy. We do have influence. How can we use that influence for good? So usually for us now, it's how to shape policies that help family. I was with Justice Kennedy when he was on the bench, and I accidentally, by the way, almost hit Sandra Day O'Connor playing golf at Augusta. She came out from behind a tree. My drive it was in my fairway. But she comes out from behind a tree, and this ball misses her head by like a foot. And I was like, I didn't know who it was. I got up there, I went, "Oh my gosh, you're Sandra Day O'Connor." And she goes, "I am." So I'm telling Justice Kennedy this story, and he goes like this, "Dang, I wish you would have hit her." I'm like, wow, you guys are tough. He said, "Well, I control the budget at the court, and we're out of office space, and we got to give office space, lifetime office space to retired judges." I'm like, wow, you're ruthless. But anyway, he invited me back to his chambers, and in that context, going to his chambers, he was kind of chiding us as Christians, saying Christians should just take care of poverty and the poor. God, he said, we do that. We've done that for 2,000 years. But can I tell you what, Justice? We fight the very core of poverty, because when a woman divorces, that woman and her kids fall deep into poverty. In an intact family, the poverty rate is 6%. After divorce, it's 38% for that woman and child. And we fight the core contributor to poverty. He put his hands behind his head and he went, wow, I'd never thought of it that way. That's the problem we have in our country, is helping policymakers understand what is most important in the culture. I'm telling you right now, the most important thing in culture is intact families, because they produce the healthiest children.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Amen.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Appreciate it. Go out for the pass. Oh wait, that's me.
Thank you for being here. Such a blessing. Appreciate it. You go first.
Okay, no.